Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Though it feels like just another day for me because my husband's been sick all week and me taking care of him and everything like we're supposed to and all that stuff. Yeah, I get exposed to whatever variants, and then we still gotta get our daily lives done and take care of things that need to be taken care of. And the delivery companies aren't always super perfect, and so they don't get all the items that you need, and then you have to go to the store and get it or pay another freaking fee to do stuff. Hey, Gail and everybody. So anyways, so it was windy yesterday, and I want you guys just to kind of keep your comments just chill right now, okay? But yeah, it was very windy yesterday, like extremely windy. And every time it's windy, the new viruses come in, and it kind of creates an aberration in the environment. It's like when there's interference watching TV and it gets staticky. You see the lines on the TV. Well, it was like that yesterday. Like I felt stuff, but my dog was feeling stuff. And she had to get her nails done because, I mean, they weren't that bad, but her dew claw was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. But even the groomer said it wasn't that bad. But here I mean, I'm pretty paranoid. So I want to make sure that my dog has her nails done perfectly. And so I had to go out there. I didn't have to, but I wanted to make sure that both, all of her nails were perfect. So that way she can kind of chill out the next 2 months before her nails have to get done again. So we had to do that. My husband's feeling better, but I felt like, holy shit. Now, this is the thing. Every single time I go out there, okay, and I wasn't wearing a mask because I couldn't find my 2 little mesh masks. And so I'm like, okay, well, I know what's going to happen. I mean, it'll be fine when I'm out there, whether it's Walmart or wherever, and I'll be fine. It's when I get home and then I'm just feeling like tired, like extremely tired. I have to eat a bunch of food. And so I made a bunch of food today and I went down for a nap for like 3 hours in the afternoon. I didn't get up till like 10 o'clock. And then I made some tuna casserole, and then I went back to bed for like a few hours and then made dinner and ate a bunch of dinner. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to chill out and and go to sleep. But yeah, but getting the poop out and all that stuff, getting all of the stuff out, it can be painful. Okay? When your body is finally releasing all the stuff that it was exposed to the day before, because people save up that stuff. They save up all the different B cells and T cells, and people don't eat. They're on diets. They have trouble eating food. And so here I am, knowing that every single time I get exposed to new variants, I have to feed those variants. And then when I'm feeding those variants, sometimes I didn't poop for one day. And I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm eating, so where's this going? Oh, it's staying in my colon. Okay, I don't feel crampy. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel anything weird. But when the system finally takes all the nutrients and then goes and reapplies it to the systems that are getting upgraded from the viral exposure, then it all wants to come out. And that's when things can get kind of painful as far as it releasing. I'm telling you, this is not for the faint of heart. Because when you actually figure out how to release your poop without using jelly juice, after you reversed all your issues, and now you're just dealing with the new viruses in the environment, you'll figure out a way to get the poop out without using salt water, jelly juice, or anything else. I mean, you can use like probiotics and other stuff like prune juice and all that. But I have figured out ways to get the poop out that you guys will figure out yourself. And I know how to get all my systems triggered, like blowing my nose. That's one way to really catalyze the alimentary canal to then push everything out that needs to come out. But I'm going through my news feed and I'm seeing people just taking away food, starving. And I see a lot of these people who are Christian on my Facebook. They're going to their churches. They're going oh my God, they're going to the hospital because they have to keep up with an image of going to church, or people who are in the health and wellness industry who don't want to feel pain, who are licensed chiropractors and everything. They're actually showing people what they're taking away from their diet. And they're saying, well, Tuesday I'm going to take away sugar. Thursday I'm going to take away carbs. And then next day I'm going to take away meat. And I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. And so you see the self-induced starvation in the religious community. It's crazy to watch. Knowing what I know about how important food is, knowing what I know about how aggressive these viruses are, knowing what I know about how aggressive large groups of people are, being out there in public, it trips me out to watch people actively just like feeling unfazed. But here's the thing. We're so used to breaking down. We're so used to cancer disease and chronic illness and autoimmune disorders. We're so used to having our bodies fall apart. And when it happens sooner, you think it's, oh, well, this is my time. I've already been fighting some disease, so this is just the next thing to go. And you see that justification. And I'm like, well, Jill, what are they supposed to do? Well, here's the thing. I have so many people on the JJ mentality on my Facebook page. I have people like me that stay home every day because my husband's a badass. And let me tell you, he doesn't have to work as much as he works. He wants to work as much as he works because he has toys to pay for. He wants his boats. He wants all of his stuff. Okay, fine. I don't spend money except for on food. That's it. Food, and I don't even want to buy all the clothes, but yeah, he bought me a bunch of clothes because I hadn't changed my wardrobe in the last few years. So I needed some new clothes because I'm a bigger person now. I'm not as skinny mini as I was. And so what do people do? So what he does is that, I'm like, Jason, I don't spend any money except for stuff that you would need anyways. We have a dog. We don't take her to the vet because she doesn't need a vet. My dog feels these viruses. Before she had seizures, she doesn't have them anymore. Before she used to graze on the grass, she doesn't do that anymore. So how does she get her body get rid of the excess B cells and T cells? Because that's where you get lymphomas from, is too many B cells not being released. She has mucus come out of her hoo-ha, her vagina, and it's like a little string, and it's a trip. But she will have the energy of the pacing because the high viral environment is so aggressive, it energizes her. Okay? And so anyway, so that's a little side note about my dog. She's already went through her predispositions as far as me resetting her body, her immune system with the J juice, and then feeding her all food and the food supply that's good for dogs. But my husband, you know, he's a big dude. He's raised in Ohio on meat, milk, cheese, eggs, fruits, vegetables. Well, not so much fruits and vegetables, but he's been raised on major amounts of protein, high sodium diet, a lot of carbs. It's a Midwest diet. It's a hearty fucking diet. Okay? Now you want to call it diet. It's just, that's the food intake over here. Then you go to California and New York. Well, maybe mostly California. Some New Yorkers are a bit burlier. But California, everyone's on their vegan and vegetarian, non-GMO, all organic, like completely eradicating sugars. And they're on their low sodium diets, trying to look like supermodels. And that, see, I was watching today, Jackie Collins and all the supermodels of the 1950s and like Marilyn Monroe. They were chunkier. They had boobs, they had a little bit of a belly, they had a butt, they had thighs. And then you see the models become more emaciated over time. In the 1960s and 1970s, all the psychedelic, heroin and LSD, and the models were now, instead of becoming robust and chunkier and life, like full of life, they are emaciated like Twiggy. They weigh next to nothing. And so you see how even the fashion industry has set people up to fail, to think that beauty beauty is supposed to look like a skeleton. And so you see all the girls out there and the boys and the women starving themselves, and they feel the pain of these viruses, don't want to feel the pain of the viruses. They start seeing their hormones become way extreme on one end or the other. And so now they're starving themselves or taking their drugs or antibiotics, or they're always under the influence of like alcohol or something else. And so then that's how they are self-medicating. and their bodies are falling apart. It's like their friends and family, their jobs, husbands and wives are cannibalizing them. I mean, with my husband being home and me cooking like every single day, almost. But I think, yeah, well, about every single day. I think one day I was like, okay, I made soup on the Monday, and the Tuesday I was like, okay, I'm tired. I made a bunch of chicken soup for both of us. But every other day, so I can't imagine having to do that every single day in a pandemic with him going back and forth, back and forth. People do it, but you have to be strong to be around someone who's out there in public bringing home viruses. And that's why he wanted me to do a vector, because he was afraid he's going to bring home something to me, then that I would have to go and I might not survive. I'm telling your husband, I have an immune system. It's extremely strong on both ends. And what I mean by both ends means that I'm eating food to then make up for all of the B cells and T cells that are going and attacking things that are too extreme. And when the body goes through an upgrade, you have to replace those cells that are being eaten by the T cells and the B cells. And your body has to eliminate. And so I do feel my lymph nodes feel a little bit sticky sometimes. And I feel a little bit of like, I can feel the energy, but not too much. The energy of my lymph nodes was a couple of weeks ago when I was exposed to like the Omicron. And it was like, it was so painful. And there was rashes. I had rashes under my armpits. And so when someone has lymphoma, okay, and then they want to do the jilly juice, they're going to have rashes. Because when you have lymphoma or any type of cancer disease or some type of major infection that is so highly energetic that they're trying to do all these different antibiotics, and you do the jilly juice and you want to open up those lines of defenses and open up your filtration systems, all that energy needs to be released, yes, but it's painful. That's why people are in pain when they're on the jilly juice, because the B cell memories from when you were exposed like years and years ago are, yeah, screaming on the way out, but they're also affecting the different organs and tissues, of which you then have to go and repair the damage as it's leaving the body. That's why it burns when you're doing the J juice, because it's the B cells and T cells. It's those things that you're holding inside that's causing you to have a blood type and then causing you to have hormonal imbalances. And so the most important thing is to blow your nose. Now, my husband, he understands blowing the nose. He gets it, but he's also had the ear infections. And so he's very gentle when he's trying to blow his nose, because he doesn't want any of that stuff to go into his ear. So he releases through his nose and through his pooping and stuff. But doing it like how violently blowing my nose I do it, where I feel it, the pressure in my ears, he's going to have to deal with that at some point. Or not. Or it'll deal with him later. Who knows? But that's the thing, is that anything that you have been afraid to deal with, that you've tried to hold back or be really careful around as far as symptoms and energy, you're going to have to deal with it. Hey, sugar, hold on a second. Oh, I got you. Okay. My dog is different personality. She's very feisty nowadays. Very feisty. And so you have to know how to blow your nose. You have to realize that the mucus is all the T cells and the B cells leaving your body. If you don't blow your nose and poop and pee and open up those lines of defense, like your lymph nodes, I'm telling you, they're going to accumulate in places, of which then this is where cancer disease and chronic illness come into play. And so when someone has so many B cells and T cells, okay, then that's why cancer then doubles and redoubles its effort to grow where things are eaten away on the other side of the spectrum. So then the focus has to shift and try to keep you alive. And Gail, she says hello. Say hi, sugar. But I'll tell you, her personality has changed in this environment. Okay? Now, happiness is a construct. Let me tell you, in a dynamic environment, happiness is not the way to be. Happiness is trying to find a way to avoid dealing with the reality. Happiness is being drugged and alcohol and distracted. My dog is surviving. And she tells me what she needs to do. She feels the energy. She's not immune to the energy. And on really windy days like yesterday, where it was raining a bunch and it was like 45, 50 mile an hour winds, it was like her equilibrium was off. Like it was. She couldn't even like walk straight sometimes because of how aggressive the energy was. And her body was building up T cells and B cells to protect her from the shifting environment. And then the mucus comes out. That's when the body releases the excess. If she were to hold that in, it would work against her and it would kill her. And so she even has to release. And so I make sure I give her all the food in the food supply that is appropriate for dogs, the fresh pet plus whatever I'm eating that's soft, that's protein, a little bit of carbs. I brush her teeth. I put oil on her paws if they get dry, because sometimes these viruses bring up yeast, and so it can make the pads dry. And then I know that in fall, when the pestilence comes out, then that's when I really have to be on top of all the pestilence when those critters come out. And so there's going to be different times and different seasons of when things are more aggressive than that, or than other times. And so once you understand the patterns of the weather, the patterns of the holidays, all the looping Groundhog Day traditions, and then you feel these viruses, let me tell you, you're not going to want to hang out with a bunch of people. You are not going to want to do that. But those that are in a cured state, that only want to be here temporarily, those that cannot change their lifestyle, those that are really just dependent upon social capital and have an image to maintain, that's who the system is targeting. But then I notice even more with my Christian friends, because of the fact that they're going to churches. You know how much stuff is in a church, in a mosque, in a synagogue? I don't care if you're all vectored, because you're still taking on proteins that your body is processing and releasing the T cells and B cells, and then making that another unique viral entity that's going to be circulating in the masses. So what do? Well, this is the thing. Staying home more than not is going to help you. I mean, I only go out if I absolutely have to, and that's where I'm utilizing Instacart, DoorDash if I really need to, Walmart delivery. Though yesterday we did go because we had to take her to get her nails done. One of these days, I mean, at some point we may have to do it on our own, and I'm prepared for it. But my husband doesn't like feeling like he has to really overpower her. I can overpower my dog, but the whole nails thing is just, she's had a hard time with it before. And so, but yesterday was even more so. But I'm telling you, starvation, the Hunger Games, that's what that movie was about, the Hunger Games, of people starving themselves because they're gaining so much weight because of the viral entities causing the hormones to go aggressive and take on the fat, because the body is starving. And so what does it do? It then holds on to fat, and it overproduces fat and other collagen and other stuff. And so then people are then starving themselves, staying away from meat, milk, cheese, eggs, or whatever, staying away from sugars and carbs, or taking drugs that then block the fats from forming or block the nutrition. So then you're not gaining substance or adipose tissue to protect your vital organs. And then people also, their bones start breaking down too. When you're taking drugs to stop the weight, when you're starving yourself, or when you're so obese that the body can't maximize the nutrition, just walking, a person can break like a foot bone. A person can twist an ankle. A person can break a hip. That's what happens to the elderly, because they're still eating food, but they're not maximizing the nutrition. Well, people are becoming elderly very sooner than later. And so that's what's going on, is people are falling apart left and right. But if they don't feel anything, then it's okay. But as soon as something starts breaking, they're like, oh man, I got something, I broke this, I broke that. Why is my hair falling out? Why is this happening? Why is my eyes going mad? And that's because you're feeding your body, but it's not being maximized. The system doesn't know what to do with the nutrients because it has so many viral entities that are sending mixed messages to all parts of your systems. And there is no clear communication between the front end and the back end. And so, yeah, that's when the body starts going into entropy. And so the whole point of the JJ Meta mentality is to do a few saltwater flushes if you're underweight or, you're relatively proportional, and you eat food. You eat all food, and you get the poop out. And you don't, and if you feel pain, you're not supposed to be turning to anything that's a cure. You're not supposed to be doing JJ's as a relief for pain. Because here's the thing, I know people too in the Christian world that when they say, oh yeah, my hip has been hurting, so I'm going to keep taking JJ's until it stops. That's not the point of the JJ's, is to keep taking JJ's until your pain stops. The reason why there's pain there is because the body's regenerating. Why cure that? You're not supposed to cure that. The only way that you earn the pain-free lifestyle is when you actually are able to rebuild those cell tissues, the collagen, all the different, cartilage and everything else with the food supply. But you're not supposed to be doing J-juice in reaction to all of your issues, because then it will be temporary and it will hurt again. And then you do J-juice. And then here's the thing, when you're in a cured state, you're not maximizing the nutrition, the food supply, because you're curing your body of not regenerating. And people don't get that because they don't want to feel pain. Let me tell you, I only did a few shots of J-juice when I was dealing with the respiratory side and when I had the major headaches. What did I do when I had the major headaches? I ate some steak. I ate a rare ass steak. I ate a bunch of food. I fed every single pain. And I have a lot of food in my house because you never know what kind of virus is going to come in again. I have to go and feed it again. But the worst thing you do is you cure pain. The worst that you do is you starve pain. The worst that you do is you try to stop the pain and not feed it all food in the food supply. That's the worst you can do. The worst you could do is think that you're supposed to feel nothing. When you're around 7.9 billion people mutating viruses, you're going to feel something. And if you don't, then your days are numbered. Because again, the third law of thermodynamics, a body in a closed system, a body that is cured, an organism, an entity, a thing, whatever it is that is in a cured state, in a closed system, will not survive a dynamic environment. Because you see houses out there that don't get upgraded. Over time, houses become dilapidated. Houses get wind blown. They get wind sheared. They have the elements destroy them. And unless you are actively feeding your body and then once a year aligning all the viruses you've ever been exposed to and releasing the excess, and you want to be in a cured state, the elements are going to destroy you like a house sitting on top of a hill on a windswept landscape with nobody going in and maintaining and redoing the infrastructure, redoing the paint, redoing the roof. And so that's what happens to people. They turn into those old, forgotten ghost towns when they want to be in a cured state. And so, yeah, some people are way too far gone. Like again, I had a lady ask me, if somebody has lymphoma, what should you do for lymphoma? I'm going to say this. If they're prepared to deal with rashes, go for it. But if you're not prepared to deal with rashes and you want to cure every single pain, this ain't for you. And so when you're that far gone with something as energetic as a major diagnosable condition, you actually have to set up your life so different that, you probably shouldn't be going to work. You probably should be cutting down your social activities. You probably should be getting things delivered to you. You probably should have some kind of income that you can survive on, that will pay all your bills and give you some ounce of entertainment like Netflix. Okay, so that when you're sitting there feeling painful and you're eating food and you have to sleep, you have something to keep your brain occupied while you're going through all of the energetic things that need to happen while your body's repairing itself. And it's going to happen for a while. This is not something, I've been doing this since 2016. I finally got off the JJ's the last couple of years. Okay? And so, but I've been deprogramming myself from the system since 2011. Okay, so this is not something that's like a wham bam, thank you ma'am, this is a cure, this is the end all be all, only for a month. Oh no, not only do you have your retroactive evolution of all this stuff inside of you that has still locked up in your colon and your lymph nodes and other places, but then you got to contend with the mutating viruses too. That's why those that didn't do the JJ's before this COVID pandemic, you guys are shot yourself in the foot by protesting my shit or I don't know what the hell you were doing prior. But those that really just kind of stuck with it and stuck with me and stuck with it and just gave me some latitude and some space, you guys set yourself up okay. You know what to expect. Those that are now discovering this, and they're deep in the freaking grave, and they're wanting to do a Hail Mary, you're really gonna have to change everything. You gotta cut off a lot of the contact from your friends and family, because they will bring some shit to you. You have to deal with retroactive evolution. And once you deal with retroactive evolution that's within you, then when you venture out, then you got to deal with your whole community. Though you will get your community's retroactive evolution or viruses when the wind blows, because yesterday was insane. I got everybody's new viral entities yesterday from the wind and the rain, as well as going out in public. But I know that when I do go outside, when it's very windy, I'm getting my neighbors, moguls. I'm getting all of their microscopic B cells and T cells in the proteins that are being carried in the wind, in the rain. Okay? And so you're not going to be like completely sequestered if you cut off, your social engagements. But you'll have a better chance in dealing with the vast amount of pain that you're going to have to deal with when things come to surface and when things come into you that you aren't aware of, like stuff in the wind. And so if you're not prepared to change your lifestyle, change your belief system, deal with the pain, have some kind of delivery services, to just deliver food to you and other stuff, if you don't have yourself dialed in to all of the software and all of the different high technology stuff to pay your bills, to do this, and not, I don't know how you're going to do this. I don't even know. And so somebody realized that they are screwed because they are the breadwinners in the family. They have to perform because they have people they have to go and live up to their expectations. And you thank them for their service when you think about it. Those are the true warriors, are those that are battling the microbes, that go out every single day, like my husband. And again, he doesn't have to work as hard as he does, but that's bred into him in this town. He's a hard worker. He comes from excellent stock, but very extremely programmed as far as that's concerned. And to cut down all that'll be difficult. I'm going to go, but you guys have a good day. All right, bye.